Welcome to Mindfully Stoic, a channel dedicated to increasing mindfulness through the lens of the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. Before I begin today's session, I would like to take some time and say thank you to those who have given me words of encouragement and feedback on how to make the videos better. It makes me happy and humbled to hear how these guided meditations have benefited your life. I would also like to apologize for my absence. With COVID, a new job, and starting up a small business, I have been a bit busy lately, and Mindfully Stoic was placed on the back burner as a result. With that being said, today's session is focused on the subject of grief and the Stoic way. Grief is something that we all will encounter and is very much a part of being a human being. Even those with the strongest of hearts and the toughest mental fortitude will succumb and experience profound grief. It is my hope that something said today might lift your burden of grief and help you along your journey. Like always, find a nice, comfortable spot to relax. Try to release any tension that might be in your body. Take this moment to prepare yourself physically and mentally to get the full benefit of meditating. Start to become more mindful of your breathing patterns. If you would like to take some deep breaths at this time, you can. Start to pay attention to your shoulders and neck. Allow yourself to relax your muscles. Relax the muscles in the face, back, arms, legs, and feet. Allow yourself to go deeper and deeper into relaxation and peace of mind. If any thoughts arise, let them float on as if they were floating on a river. There is no need to attach meaning to these thoughts. Let them be, and simply observe the sensations, thoughts, and emotions at this time. Now let's take a moment and pay attention to our breath. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. If you would like, you can repeat after me. Breathe in, I am breathing in. Breathe out, I am breathing out. Breathe in, I am breathing in. Breathe out, I am breathing out. Grief is a very human emotion that nearly everyone on this planet will experience. One of the more well-known Stoic concepts is Memento Mori, or remembering your own mortality. But something that I often overlook is that everyone you know will die as well. For whatever reason, it appears to be easier to cope with your own mortality than the mortality of your loved ones. With that being said, the Stoics talked about confronting grief and not running away from it. It does no good to divert your attention away from your feelings or to pretend like everything is fine when it isn't. Allow yourself to grieve. Let your tears flow. Seneca wrote in Consolation to Helvia, "No emotion is governable, least of all that which is born of grief. It is wild and stubbornly resists every remedy. Sometimes we want to conceal it and to choke back our sobs, yet tears pour down the face despite its assumed composure. Sometimes we occupy the mind with games or gladiators, but amid the very sights meant to divert it, Some slight reminder of grief makes the mind break down. Therefore, it is better to conquer sorrow than to trick it. For sorrow that has been deceived and diverted by pleasures and engagements rises again, and from this very respite gathers strength for its raging. But the grief that has yielded to reason is settled forever. In this next passage, Seneca talks about letting grief run its course and nothing more. Let reason establish a measure that will copy neither indifference nor madness, and will keep us in a state that is the mark of an affectionate and not unbalanced mind. Let your tears flow, but let them also cease. Let deepest sighs be drawn from your breast, but let those too come to an end. So rule your mind that you can win approval both from wise men and from brothers. When talking about losing close friends, Seneca said this: "If we believe our friend Attalus, thinking of friends who are alive and well is like enjoying honey and cake. The remembrance of friends who have died delights us, but with a certain bitterness. Yet who will deny that sour things with a touch of sharpness can also whet the appetite? I don't agree. Thinking of my deceased friends is sweet and pleasant to me. I had them as if I was going to lose them. I have lost them as if I have them still." And lastly, perhaps my favorite quote concerning this subject is again by Seneca. He says, "Has it then all been for nothing that you have had such a friend? During so many years, amid such close associations, after such intimate communion of personal interests, has nothing been accomplished? Do you bury friendship along with a friend? And why lament having lost him, if it be of no avail to have possessed him? Believe me, a great part of those who have loved, though chance has removed their persons, still abides with us. The past is ours, and there is nothing more secure for us than that which has been." At a very young age, I experienced grief due to a death in my immediate family. I've had a long time to think about grief, death, and our own mortality. In addition to the advice that has been given, I have personally experienced that gratitude, the passage of time, and carrying on a legacy of those who have passed on have remedied my grief. As Seneca says, time heals what reason cannot. This life is full of randomness, and the death of a loved one can seem absurd and unreasonable. However, being grateful for the memories and time that you have had with these people thus far can shift your perspective from grief to acceptance. Also, the people that have passed on would not want us to continue our lives in uncontrollable grief and sadness. At some point, we must press forward and carry on with our lives. This does not mean to forget them. Remember them and cherish them, for their lives have impacted yours, and in that way they continue to live on. As we wrap up this guided meditation, start to take some deep breaths. Become more aware of your arms and hands, legs and feet, neck and shoulders, chest and back. Take a few more deep breaths. And thank you for listening to this guided meditation. I appreciate your efforts on becoming more mindful and more virtuous in a world that so desperately needs it. Let us strive to be mindfully stoic.